Hola, buenos noches, and good evening. This is your weekly news report, and I'm your host, Pedro. A federal judge in Tennessee on Monday warned of possible sanctions against top Trump administration officials if they continue to make inflammatory statements about Kilmar Abrego Garcia that could prejudice his coming trial. U.S. District Judge Waverly Crenshaw filed an order late on Monday, instructing local prosecutors in Nashville to provide a copy of his opinion to all Justice Department and Department of Homeland Security employees, including Attorney General Pam Bondi and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. A federal judge in Tennessee on Monday warned of possible sanctions against top Trump administration officials if they continue to make inflammatory statements about Kilmar Abrego Garcia that could prejudice his coming trial. U.S. District Judge Waverly Crenshaw filed an order late on Monday instructing local prosecutors in Nashville to provide a copy of his opinion to all Justice Department and Department of Homeland Security employees, including Attorney General Pam Bondi and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Abrego Garcia has an American wife and child and has lived in Maryland for years, but he immigrated to the U.S. illegally from El Salvador as a teenager. In 2019, an immigration judge granted him protection from being deported back to his home country, finding he had a well-founded fear of violence there from a gang that targeted his family. Now here's Rafa with our next top story.
Once mighty trees and power lines in ruin on streets turned to rivers. Entire communities swept away by wind and floodwater, according to satellite imagery. Melissa left over 70% of Jamaica without power. At least 82 roads on the island were closed as of Thursday morning. Those are just some of the scenes of devastation Jamaica woke up to Thursday morning, 48 hours after Hurricane Melissa raged through the island nation as the most powerful storm in its history and one of the most potent ever recorded anywhere. The United Nations said the damage was on a level never seen before. The monster storm had winds of up to 180 and 85 medimares and killed at least 9 people in Jamaica and 27 more across the Caribbean this week. By Saturday, the storm will have lost its tropical characteristics and its name and become a strong post-tropical cyclone over the North Atlantic, making a beeline for St. John's. But for Jamaica and Cuba, the task of providing aid to affected communities and rebuilding starts now. Now back to Pedro for our next top story.
A Rhode Island federal judge on Friday ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture to distribute money owed to recipients of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program as soon as possible, just one day before funding for SNAP was set to lapse. U.S. District Judge John McConnell's ruling from the bench came shortly after another federal judge in a separate case said that the Trump administration's plan not to pay out SNAP benefits beginning on November 1 due to the ongoing federal government shutdown was unlawful, but stopped short of ordering the Trump administration to disperse funds. McConnell addressed the Trump administration's argument that contingency funds might be needed for other reasons in the near future, like in the aftermath of a hypothetical hurricane. It is clear that when compared to the millions of people that will go without funds for food versus the agency's desire not to use contingency funds in case there is a hurricane need, the balances of those equities clearly goes on the side of ensuring that people are fed, the judge said. McConnell asked the administration for an update on the SNAP funding by Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Now here's Ariana with a look at your weather news and forecast.
Hi everyone, I'm your chief meteorologist Ariana with a look at your weather forecast. Above average near record warmth will build in across the west this weekend as ridging builds. The Pacific Northwest will see the heaviest precipitation across the country, as an atmospheric river and cold front are presently moving ashore.
A reinforcing disturbance will bring additional rain showers into Sunday and eventually push a cold front through the northwest.
An intense cyclone is expected to move northeast, away from New England. In its wake will be modest lake effect precipitation on Saturday.
And the cold advection will keep temperatures below average this weekend into Monday east of the Mississippi River due to the persistence of upper-level troughing.
An approaching front bringing precipitation back into the picture for the Great Lakes late Sunday into Monday. Central and southern portions of the Intermountain West should remain warm and dry with high temperatures in the 70s commonplace on Saturday. Southern California and Arizona may approach the 80s and low 90s. Several locations could set daily record high temperatures. On Sunday, the warmth will shift westward across the Rockies and into the Dakotas. High temperatures are likely to hit the upper 70s near 80 across the front range, which is about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year and near daily record highs.
The dry and breezy conditions should
contribute to an enhanced fire weather risk across southeast Wyoming and Nebraska on Sunday.
That will do it for this week's weekly news report. As always, thank you for watching and have a great week. Como siempre, gracias por vernos y que tengas una gran semana.